Casey Cowan. This is Watonga Cheese Factory, located in Perryton, Texas.
Okay.
We're standing in the make room. This is where all the cheese is made. When we get our milk in, it comes straight off our family dairy. We haul all of our own milk in when we do it. We usually run somewhere around 30,000 pounds of milk a week through here, which makes about 3,000 pounds of cheese. About 10 to 1 is what we get. This is our holding tank. It holds all of our raw milk for us. That holds about 4,000 gallons. It's a refrigerated tank. It keeps the milk around 37 degrees. So we hold all of our raw milk in that tank. This is our pasteurizer. This is where all of our raw milk runs through. It's ran off of steam. We've got a steam line coming in. All of our raw milk runs into this pasteurizer. It heats it up to about 172 degrees and holds it in there for about 22 seconds. That pasteurizes your milk just like a gallon of milk you get in the grocery store. It also cools it down to about 88 degrees. At about 88 degrees, we have our paddles. These are our paddles. This is our agitator. We'll hook the paddles onto our agitator. That goes down and back and agitates our milk. We'll add food coloring to it. If we're going to make a yellow cheese, if we're going to make a white cheddar, we do not use an animal blood. It does not take very much, but we'll add about 22 ounces of rennet to it. We'll stir it, shut the agitator off. That's what this stage is right now. We just added the rennet to it. It takes about 30 minutes, and that'll set up to about a jello. These are called our butter cutters, or our cheese cutters. We've got one that goes vertical, one that goes horizontal. We'll drop it into that cottage cheese-like substance, drag it down and back and side to side, and that'll cut it into your cottage cheese. Then you'll have one big vat of cottage cheese. We'll hook our paddles back on at that time, start stirring it, and that's when it'll separate. That's when all your cheese will fall to the bottom, and then all your whey will rise to the top. We let that agitate for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then also we'll start cooking it at that time in these vats. These vats are steam jacketed. They're ran off a steam tube, so we can hook steam up to them, heat them up, and that's how we can cook our cheese at that time in that vat. And when it's in the cottage cheese stage, we'll start cooking it, and it'll start firming up, getting more like a soft, like a harder cheese. At that stage, we've got some stainless steel rakes. We'll go through a process that's called ditching it. And what that is after we stir it and everything separates in these vats, we'll want to drain all the liquids off. And once we get all the liquids off, it's going to be real little pieces, and they're going to start forming into a block in the bottom of these vats. And then at that stage, we got knives, and we'll cut them into smaller blocks where we can handle them. And then that's when the cheddar process begins. And that's all we do here is a strictly cheddar cheese. All that consists of is we'll heat these vats up to 100 degrees. We'll reach over these vats by hand and flip that cheese and cook it in these vats. And that's how we get our cheddar flavors cooking. At that stage, after we go through the cheddaring process, we've got a curd mill. This is our curd mill. We'll lay it over the edge of the vat. We'll throw the cheese through that curd mill, and it cuts it into your curd stage. We'll add salt to it, and then we'll add our flavors to it, like our bacon, our jalapeno, our onion. We can add it to it at that stage, or we'll just leave it at the regular mild cheddar. And these are our longhorn containers. This is one of our forms of presses that we use. The reason they're called longhorns, they're shaped like a horn. They're big on one end, small on the other. And the reason they're shaped like that is so when you press them, they can interlock with each other and lay down on the press.
And is this the press over here?
That's the press right there. They'll scoop all the curds to one side of the vat, put all the containers in, scoop them full of curds, and then we'll put a lid on them, and then we'll put them on the press, and they'll stay on the press until about noon tomorrow. And then at noon tomorrow, they'll come in and pull them off, slam them on the center, and then that cheesecloth will come out around your cheese, and so then you'll have your 13-pound Longhorn cheese. We'll put it in the cooler, let it form, get hard, and then we'll roll it out, dip it in wax, and then it's ready to ship out. We'll scoop 40 pounds of cheese into these containers out of the vats and put them on the press. It's the same cheese as the Longhorn cheese, it's just pressed different. It's pressed into 40-pound blocks instead of 13-pound blocks. So at that stage, we'll put 40 pounds in there, put a lid on it, flip it over on edge, and then we can press it with these presses. These have to stay on there till about Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, about 3.5 days they'll have to press. They'll come in here Thursday, pull them off, pull the liners off, and then you'll have a 40-pound block of cheese. So, on your aged cheddar or your sharp cheese, all this is going to be a mild cheese when we make it. 6 months from the date that it was made, you get a medium. 1 year from the date it is made, you get a sharp. And all that is taking a mild block of cheese, putting the date that you made it on, throwing it in the back of the refrigerator and letting it set for 6 months. And that's how you get your sharp cheese. Most of the cheese that we get, or we have, is mild cheese. But we do have some that we age for our sharp cheese.
And where do you age that?
We've got 2 walk-in coolers. We just seal it, box it up, put a date on it, set it in the back of the cooler, and just let it set at around 40 degrees. When we drain the whey off, we'll drain the whey off into a truck, and it goes to a local feedlot and blends it in with his feed ration. So we are utilizing most of our waste that we get out of here. The rest of it becomes cheese. So.